Hi, and welcome to Cujo Sound. My name is Bjørn Jacobsen, and I've recently been playing two isometric city builder games that I would like to talk about. And this video is about Zombie Cure Lab, a pre-alpha game from Aerosoft in Paderborn, Germany. He was kind enough to send me a key and asked what I thought about it. This game is pre-alpha, so lots of things are not working, and therefore the usual analysis that I'll be making is a little different this time, as I would expect most of these things to be taken into account during the game's polish, and lots of the issues that we will find will be resolved later. I won't show much gameplay, but mainly focus on the start of the game and some of the quite cacophonous situations that occur in the game right off the bat. As always, I'm not trying to review the actual game. It's not meant to bash or tear it apart or anything like that. I just want to check the audio and its features and see how it's done, why it is the way it is, and why not. So let's get to it. This is Zombie Cure Lab. As mentioned, the game is pre-alpha, so lots of things are probably coming or not working, etc. Right off the bat, we have some weird sounds interfering with the music during start. And there's no UI sounds on the intro where we can click these buttons or anything like that. Not that I would expect there to be any like these, but you would also kind of expect there to be something when you click the button. If I zoom in and out here right off the bat, you will notice that there's no 3D panning or no spatialization of the background ambient sounds. So no 3D placement during this placement mode. Like these birds here are not fading in any formal way regardless of my zoom level. Placing this headquarters here has music-like tonal elements, which totally interferes with the music while playing at the same time. This wind is fading in and out here when I zoom in and out, but too slow. But it seems also like that the wind really just is fading in and out, regardless of my zoom level, so it might be coincidence that I was particularly zooming at this specific point. I like the idea of cozy music playing and the overall vibe of the music. It's cute and fits the cartoony style and art and animation, kind of like a Kerbal Space Program in a way. This helicopter here pans very nicely though, and it's true 3D in its spatialization, because if you turn the camera like this, it will actually just be right in the center. I would have liked to have reviewed one of the previous versions of the game, because when I first got the key, there was a particular problem with some of the music. This previous version of the game had nice music layers that would change depending on zoom level. Unfortunately, I've been unable to make this happen again, as this particular piece of music hasn't been playing ever since the update, and I haven't been able to reproduce the actual layer change. However, the problem with it was that the layers were changing depending on zoom level, and that is a really good idea, but it was layers in the music, so the further I would zoom in, the more layers there would be, which meant that if I would zoom out, suddenly the bass would disappear or other layers would so. The problem is that the zoom level here is not smooth at all, meaning that if I could find the specific tick or level of zoom and just jump between the two, I could have literally a remix of the music going in a bad way. The music also seems to fade in and out of the tracks in a weird manner. Like if I zoom out, it's like it triggers the ending of the track, and if you don't zoom in time, the track doesn't come back. So perhaps once the voice is killed in their audio setup or whatever tool they may be using to do this, the music is killed and it's under volume threshold perhaps, and then dies and switches to the next track, or simply the music system stops playing and then comes back over time. This seems really strange and seemingly at random. But it does still do some filtering if you zoom in and out. Here, zoom out. And here, zoomed in. Causing some sort of filter to occur, but now completely different from the issue that I mentioned previously about the layers. This applies a filter, but the filter is too slow. So if you zoom really fast, it's like the music just vanishes over time rather than doing this on the actual zoom level. But it only does so on some tracks. Menu music also seems to overlap with the music here and there, so some filters might be applied or some tracks are not killed, played in the background whenever levels are loading. I'm wondering if this zoom in and out filter is meant to make it sound like the music is diegetic and coming from the actual bass that you're building. If that's the case, this would have to be tweaked quite a lot to appear more 3D and more like it's coming from a radio on the actual bass. It's not a bad idea to apply a filter or trigger or layers of music depending on zoom level, but for it to not interrupt with immersion and the experience of the player, it would have to work much more seamlessly. So to put it mildly, a lot of things needs to be done about this game. The mix is rather off, as you can barely hear any of the interactions your little people are doing when they're using the stations and machines unless you're zoomed in completely in. If you're zoomed out, you can barely hear anything from the stations, but I would expect that to be fixed in the future. And the music is a great example of how a great music filter and fading and so on, depending on a visual zoom or anything like that, is a very good idea, but if it's not polished, we will have problems. In some cases, the zoomed out filter is even applied seconds after I actually zoomed out, making me wonder why this is, instead of just thinking that it's a cool feature. So this was Zombie Cure Lab from Aerosoft Game, a fun and great little game I hopefully get to play some more once it's slightly more polished. According to their roadmap, when the game loads, a lot of things are coming, so I will await positively. Thanks again for watching this short video here from Cujo Sound about Zombie Cure Lab. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to know more about game audio, you can just subscribe to the channel or even support the channel over at patreon.com/Cujo Sound. I would really appreciate it. Hope to see you again in another video. Cheers and peace out.